Welcome to the Atomic Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Osborn. And on this podcast, we interview successful business owners for them to share atomic, impactful lessons that they've learned throughout the course of their business, share them with us so that we can always learn as well. As always, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way established businesses are creating a reliable acquisition channel of conversations with their ideal prospects. We use this method to book 26 qualified leads and sales calls in 10 days without any ad spend, outreach, in the social media posting, or any of the old ineffective marketing methods that everybody hates. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. The link to that will be in the show notes below. But on today's show, I'm excited to introduce you to Vincent Hovorka, and I hope I said that last name right, Vincent. He's the owner of the Mastermind Alliance, where he's helping business owners to scale from 6 to 7 figures. So, Vincent, it's great to have you on the show today. I want to start off by asking you a question that I always love to start off with, which is this. If you were able to go back to when you started your very first business, but knowing what you know now, what would you do differently in the first 12 months?
I think one of the things is be like when I would be starting again. So it's about like not like as if you are young and you are kind of really ambitious. So you think like you can accomplish a lot in a very short period of time. So I put myself a big goals for the first year, but people underestimate what they can do actually in 10 years and overestimate what they can do in 1 year. And sometimes this is a difficult thing because then you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and that pressure obviously sometimes is not healthy. And then sometimes you feel like, oh, I didn't accomplish everything what I wanted that year. And sometimes you can even feel like a failure. But if you look at, any successful people, it takes time to build it. And I think because of social media, you see that everything should be quick, but it's not the case in business. It's step-by-step process. So I would maybe tell myself like, slow down, chill out. You have time. You are just young. You have time to build it up. There is no rush.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that quote, by the way. I say it all the time to people. I remind myself of that as well. We often overestimate what we can do in a year, but underestimate what we can do in 10. What are some tips on helping, or maybe that's even helped you, or maybe when you coach people, to help people slow down a little bit and realize, look, this is a long-term thing. Don't try to always force everything so fast if you're not seeing the results necessarily you're wanting to get. What are some just mental and emotional things that people can do? Because it can be an emotional journey, owning a business for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it is. So you need to have definitely like some people around you. You can bounce off ideas and you can chat with them. It can be your partner, it can be your spouse, it can be your business partner, it can be your coach, it can be like we do mastermind group. It can be a lot of different things, but you need to have someone you talk to because things will get tough. Even if somebody signs up to do masterminds with me, I'll tell them like, it's gonna get tough. Business is tough. It's gonna be difficult. But if we learn how to overcome small thing, then we can learn to overcome the bigger thing. And I have those days when I feel down, but I have a business partner, for example. I have a coach, so I can call them and I can speak to them, and then they'll lift me up because it's normal. And we need to realize that there are certain cycles, and we just need to we all need to go through with those cycles with our business. So, and sometimes you don't know in which cycles you are unless maybe somebody tells you who are already been there. So definitely people is the very important thing. That's why obviously I like to go on a podcast like that. I also host my own podcast because I meet a lot of people, and from that many people, then you can choose like, who is the good fit, who you can work with on, maybe it can be your friend or somebody who can help you. You can be your, like you say, always like surround yourself with the like-minded people, and it's really important. So I always tell people to find these peers for them.
Yeah, I love that. And you actually answered one of the questions I was going to ask, but I'm going to ask I'm going to ask the question anyway, because I'd like to hear other ideas. And the question is this, it's for people going, well, how do I find those people, Vincent? Like, I feel very isolated. I feel very alone running a business. How do I find these like-minded people? You did mention podcast. It's one of the reasons why I do this, because I get to meet so many people. And I think that's a great idea. Doesn't mean everyone has to start a podcast if that's not what they want to do. But what are some other things that you have found to be helpful for people? particularly if they're living in more remote areas. I mean, obviously, if they're living in more of, city areas, where there's some sort of hub around, but what are some good ways to be able to find other peers and connect with people?
Yeah, so I myself live remotely. Actually, if I go to, for example, networking event to meet people, I need to drive an hour. So it depends if people can drive an hour or more. So people need to invest something in order to find those people, either time or money or both, obviously. So you can do it online, obviously. Like the podcast, it's a good way in, but or do a Zoom meeting or someone like this coffee and chat. But to be honest, it's never gonna build a trust and deep relationship. You really need to meet them in person and spend with them some time. So, and it really depends what you do, but in that kind of a sense where I help people to get from 6 to 7 figures with their business, they really need to be in the right rooms. Because I used to go to networking events when I started, and to some of these networking events, which are like 3 or 20 pounds, I don't go there anymore because I don't see that there is anybody who I can really connect with anymore to do something. So I need to pay more to be in a bigger rooms or better rooms, because more you pay, better quality in the people for, especially with the business, will be there, because they all want to get the business from here to here. So if they paid, I don't know, £5,000 to be there, so there'll be more high quality people. So for example, I like to go to Tony Robbins events. I've done a lot of trainings with him, a lot of events. And so for example, when I've been last year, there are tiers of tickets I can buy, but I would go and I would buy the diamond ticket, because I know in the diamond ticket, there'll be people who are more serious about themselves and about their business. And there is a special VIP section, which you actually go with them for 4 days for a lunch and dinner. So you have a time to chat with them. So you are already in the right room. So you need to think about it like that. So I always tell people, especially in a business, more you pay to be in the room, better room you're gonna be in.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And for anyone listening to this, no matter how long you've been in business, if you're going, oh gosh, maybe you don't have the revenue or the profits to be able to buy the diamond level tickets, that doesn't mean don't go. It just means, go where you can afford right now. Maybe stretch yourself a little bit. All right. I've done that as well. It's like, oh gosh, that seems a stretch, but it's always well worth it. So I love that's a great example. Talking about that, being in the right rooms with stuff. I know that every business faces challenges, and being in those rooms, it's really great because you're able to talk with other people and learn from other people and realize you're not alone in that. But obviously, one of the reasons why I do this is to help other business owners realize, okay, gosh, there are challenges. Other people are going through stuff that I've gone through. I'm not alone. I'm not weird. I'm not, nothing's wrong with me. So what's the biggest challenge that you have faced in business so far? And it could be in any area of the business. But what's the biggest one you faced, and what's the lessons that you've learned from that?
Okay, so I think it will be quite recent. I have split the partnership, one business partnership. And what I have learned is I went to the business with that person because it was my brother-in-law. And then it was 6 years ago. And you don't really think like that much ahead. You are like, okay, let's do business together. Let's go 50-50 and let's start. And then you just go for it and you just do things and you just see where you are moving. But the thing is, there is nothing written, a part of like in a limited company. It's like no agreement, like what are the expectations, what the other people should do, and so on. And you don't know those things until something bad happens. And then there was obviously few things which were happening in the last year. So then we decided that we needed to split and then go separate ways. And it was a little bit messy in terms of money and things like that. So if I would, for example, have that more properly structured before I would go ahead, so that would be definitely good. So I would highly recommend anybody. I'm being coached by JT Fox as well. And he's having his first book, last year he wrote, not his first book, but one of the books. It's called Business is War. And then there is a whole chapter 3 what you should ask before you go to a business relationship with someone. I think there's like 17 questions to be asked to really know who you are going in a relationship with. And so that was one of the things. And then it followed up 2 months later that unfortunately I had to close 2 businesses because of all of the things what happened. which I thought they'll survive, but something wasn't done as should be. And unfortunately, these two businesses both collapsed and I had to close them. I managed to exit from them, but it's not like I would exit for millions, but I just managed to do that. But that was the businesses I was running for 5 years, and we were both, the one was for 5 years. And then it was really good for income generating and everything, but it was quite two big things happened in a matter of 3 months. So, and it was just in January, so it was quite fresh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being so open and honest and vulnerable with that. But I love people sharing stories like that, not because, it's not fun going through, but we all go through different challenges on one level or another in business. And it's good to go, okay, these do happen. These challenges do happen. And it's okay. You survive on the other side of them and you learn the lessons. Hopefully we learn the lessons from them as well. So over the next, let's say 2 to 3 years of the business, what are you looking to achieve? What are the goals?
So there are two things that I'm focusing on at the most. So one thing is AI. So I'm partnering with one company, so people can buy AI from me. So it's focused really on the business owners. So because it really thinks and acts as a business owner, and all the answers are there. So it's a really good tool to use when somebody wants to really have advantage about the other people, because it's not ChatGPT, it's not Grok, not Claude, not Gemini, it's something different. And if everybody's using the same tools, where is the edge? What is the advantage of the people? So, and then how I'm doing it is, for example, people go to my masterminds, and this is what I enjoy the most. It's being with people. So basically our masterminds are like 5 days long, and we get together, a group of 15 people, and then we not only share ideas, help each other, but we really build strong connections and relationships, because that leads to another collaborations. Everybody knows different people, and I really enjoy that because it's really good feedback. People enjoy it. So this is something which is my passion, doing those masterminds. I would like to scale them, and maybe at the moment I do 4 a year. I think in the next 2 to 3 years, answering your question, I think I would like to do maybe 1 a month, and help more people this way. And definitely a big thing as well with that, it's speaking more on stages. Like I already speak, but I would like to speak even more, especially on the bigger stages. I really like speaking actually in USA. I think it's always like a bigger rooms, and I spoke last year and I really enjoyed that. So so something like that.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's absolutely brilliant. Well, for people that are looking to learn more about you or get in touch with you on how you can help them, what's the best places for them to get in touch with you?
To be honest, anything. If they go through LinkedIn, they go through Instagram, they can obviously go through my website, which is my surname, vincenthovorka.com, and they can book a call with me. Just to say, if you go through LinkedIn or Instagram, it's not going to be me, it's been my AI agent chatting with you before. So if you want to book a call with me, go through my website. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I definitely recommend everyone checking out Vincent on the different channels that he has just mentioned there. And Vincent, thank you so much for taking the time out for being on the show today. I really appreciate sharing your insights, and again, for being so open and honest with something that you've recently gone through. I know that will really help a lot of people. So thank you for that. And just as a reminder for everyone listening, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way established business owners are creating a reliable acquisition channel of conversations with their ideal prospects that doesn't rely on any of the old, ineffective traditional marketing methods that everybody hates. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. The link to that will be in the show notes below. And until next episode, stay inspired.